Alright, welcome back to this video for the Ultimate Swing Trader. We're going to be talking about some Forex trading here, and actually the most recent session. This is being recorded on May 8th, so Friday. We actually had a very good week overall, very solid. Even though there was a lot of consolidation during the week, we consistently picked up quite a few nice positive winning trades along the way. But I wanted to kind of show you what a typical night looks like for us, and this was what I was looking at last night. On the pound US dollar. That's the market that I'm looking at in this one. And I had a potential to go short at 1.4940 and the potential to go long at 1.5082. You can see that the strategy is very exact, meaning there was an exact target. And we have 3 targets with a very specific strategy on where we exit and how we scale out, as well as targets on the short side. There's also always a protective stop on every trade. And all I had to do right around this time was place the short trade, which would have been down here. And I placed the long trade, which is along this dashed line here. And I placed my stop and my targets, and that's it. At that point, I'm done. From that point, I let the trade do what the trade needs to do. And I had this running last night. Actually, in this case, went to sleep, placed my trades on the long and short side. Didn't really matter to me which ones triggered, if they triggered at all. And I want to sort of show you what kind of happened overnight while I was sleeping. Not a whole lot. You probably know this maybe was the non-farm payroll day, so even though we don't see a lot of volatility anymore with that report, the market tends to stay pretty sideways. So no trigger. And this line here, I don't want you on this dash line, is not my short entry. Remember, my short entry was down here. The dash line here, the small little dotted dash line, is going to be my protective stop if this long trade ever triggers. So along comes the morning. And this is about where I woke up. I came in and saw this. I'm like, okay, well, it took hours and hours and hours, and finally the trade triggered. Well, geez, if you're a day trader, I mean, one, if you're trying to stay up during this European market hours, I mean, you had to have a stretch of hours here, 2, 3, 4 hours, where nothing happened. Yet the whole time you're pretty much going to have to stare at the screen. Well, in our case, we didn't have to do anything. In fact, as much time I've already been talking, you would have had all the trades placed and been done. And sure enough, when I woke up, it had finally triggered. Now, at this point, is there anything for me to do? There really isn't, because I've got my stop in place, I've got my profit target in place, and my other profit target in place, and of course the third one up here if I scale out. There's nothing for me to do. And I remember kind of looking at it a bit later and thinking, is this trade going to work out? I don't know. But I'm not managing it. I'm not watching it. I'm not going to worry about every pip. In fact, I didn't watch it at all until this afternoon. I got the email from my broker, and I noticed a trade had closed. And I had a trade open with a really good profit. I'm like, geez, how did that happen? Because I'm not seeing her watching this. Well, this is how it happened. Later in the afternoon, tonight, or today I should say, tonight depending on where you are, it rallied and hit target number 1. So I already had that limit order set up in advance. Now you see the numbers in here? This is a new potential setup for Sunday, Monday. So I just ignored that. Remember, we're back on these numbers here. So 1.5183 was my target, and then 1.5286. And I'm going to get 102 pips. That was my target on the first one. So when I ran up to this level here, I just made 102 pips, and that's what was closed in my broker. And what I noticed at the end of the day when I got the report was it showed me that I'm up now this amount, because this is the close of this session. This is we got the weekend in front of us. So we'll have to see how this opens on Sunday, Monday. Now I could have gone flat at the end of the day if I don't like to hold over the weekend, which is understandable. But typically we don't get very big gaps. You never know, of course, but usually that's not the case. So we may get a little gap up or down. But I'm in very good shape, because now I get to move my stop on the trailing balance from this line up to break even. That's the only change that I need to make for Sunday night, is moving my stop to break even, because I'm going to try to shoot for this target and then ultimately the third target, which is up here somewhere. And that's it. But already I've been able to book over 100 pips. I'm very close to booking 200 pips. We'll see. Worst case, the market comes back down on the balance of my trade, and I still get the benefit of the first move up, which was 100 pips. So really nice outcome on the pound US, and a nice surprise, and a perfect example how the Ultimate Swing Trader does what it does. I didn't have to spend literally, in this case, almost 24 hours. In this case, you were about 10 hours of being completely flat. I didn't have to do anything. Trades were in, and when it took off, I already had my structure in place. Everything was preset for me. You see it on the chart. You don't have to come up with any of that on your own. There's a reason why it projects where it does. That's fully disclosed. But this is the real power and the virtue to the Ultimate Swing Trader. Let's go ahead and look at the Euro US dollar on a time interval chart to see how that one would have done today. Okay, so last night, if we're looking at the Euro US dollar, this time on a 30-minute chart, we would have seen this chart. I would see that the potential short is at 3304. The potential long is at 3489. Market's kind of trading in between there. I see my targets. My stops, you see this little dot here? That's the stop on the short. And there's a little dot in here, which is the stop on the long. But I always can get those values if I can't see that by using what we call our data window. And this is on TradeStation, but this can run off of MetaTrader, NinjaTrader, or eSignal, and I always get all my numbers, including an exact stop, as well as my entry. And so what I'm going to do here is just put some horizontal lines on, because a lot of times it's easier to see. So this potentially is my first target, and we'll just draw up to the second target. And we kind of know where we're going to get long. We're going to get long in here at this 3489, or get short. So I would have placed that trade, and the trade's in. And now what do I have to do? Nothing. I don't have to. I can actually go on with my life. I can go to sleep if I need to. I can go to work if I'm going to work. In this case, you might check on this. In what I do is, if I place it at night, I'll check on it in the morning and see what happens. So in this case, if I'm to wake up, usually for me it's right about this time in here. I'm on Pacific Standard, so I'm probably a little bit later than most people on the East Coast or even overseas. But and I see, you know what? I probably just in this case triggered in. Okay, so now I'm long at right about that time. So do I need to do anything? No, because I have my stop in down here that's already been pre-placed. It's already in the system. I already have my targets. There's nothing else I need to do. So as the morning progresses, this market gets stronger and stronger, and boom, right there, 122 pips of profit. Target number one is hit, and I actually move my stop up to this line here, right? Remember, you move up to your entry after you hit the first target. So now I'm targeting the second level at 1.3734. And if I can get that, I've got 244 pips. Worst case, if I'm trailing, I'm out zero, break even on my balance. But I've already booked a profitable trade on that move, and let's see where we ended the day. So this is where we ended the day. So, look, we got a little bit of work to do to get up to there. Worst case is I'm out at even on the balance of my trade, but at this point, I've got a really nice profit already booked. So just like the pound US, very similar. But I want you to remember, see how much structure there was, how straightforward it is, how you have exact entries, targets, and stops. And I'm only worried about taking my trades in that little window of time. And that's it. I spend my few minutes each night. I come in around the same time. And I certainly don't look for trades. If there were new trades here during the overnight or during the morning this morning, I would not have taken them. I stay with my one time a day snapshot of the market. One time a day will I look at setting up new entries. After that, all I need to do is see what happened and manage it accordingly if I need to adjust my stops. So again, really doing very nicely, working on some very good gains for the week. It was a good week. I hope next week is as good as this week. And then with the markets, we never control it. We can just sort of respond accordingly, but let's cross our fingers, keep doing what we're doing, and ideally we'll have a further run through come Monday on these open trades, and in addition, we'll see some more good stuff. So that's it. Let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to post in the blog, of course, and we'll get back with you.